Welcome back to the Peaceful Wood Turner. As you can see, I have my spindle mounted here. This is the one that you saw me turn in my very first effort at actually turning anything. Took it from 1.25" square hunk of pine down to this that you see here. I did go ahead and sand a little bit to get rid of some of my tool marks, and I did review some of my learning materials from my books and everything, and discovered that I was making a number of mistakes, including really not riding the bevel in the way that I should. So I was getting more tool marks than I really should have been getting. So now I'm going to try just turning a couple of coves just to see how I can make out with that. Trying a few practice moves. And I have my lathe set right now to the highest of the low speeds. It's set to 1200. I'm probably going to have to change to a higher speed, but I thought I would start off with something a little lower and just see where I would be with it. I have my tool rest set, I think, pretty appropriately. What do you think? How's it look? Let me know in the comments. Whatever screw-ups I make, I am more than happy to get advice and help. So I'm going to just come in here with my bevel. This is my rough and gouge, obviously. I'm starting to get a cut. There we go. The book always makes it look easier than it really is. Basically, the book just says, come in, ride the bevel, and just kind of make your turn. As you can see, I kind of rode up there. That was a bit of a mistake. That was stupid. Okay, let's try another one here. Actually, let's reset the tool rest. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to lower my tool rest a little bit because I think I'm just not quite coming in on the right angle there. Let's try again. I've lowered the tool rest. I'm going to come in, riding my bevel. That's better. Just gonna work my way along and just keep doing the same kind of thing. I don't like how uneven that one is. I'm getting a little bit of a ride up as I make my turn. I'm doing something wrong there. Let's see if I can get that straightened out a little bit. Well, they're coming out, but they're not consistent. Let's see if I can improve my consistency a little bit here. Try to get them straight and even. That was not my best at all. So I'm not finishing that one very well. Pressure on and going in way too deep right off the bat. This is where was a good try. Got some nice coves on some of these and some really bad ones in other spots. So I'm going to have to kind of revisit this and see what I can do, but first I'm going to need a new round piece. I'm going to need a new spindle. So I think that's where I'm going to have to leave off on this for now, and we'll get back to my cove turning journey in a little while. As you can see, I have made a new spindle. I have fixed up a number of the problems that I had before. I am clearly doing at least a little bit better. I have managed to have far fewer tool marks. There's been no sanding on this piece. If you saw my first video where I simply tried to turn a 1.25" piece down to full round, it took a bit of work and I ended up with a lot of tool marks, and that's the one I used earlier in this video to try to teach myself how to make coves. And this time I'm going to start off by giving myself some marks to work with. Some guide points. Something to think about. It's really all it is something to think about. Of course, whenever I come down into my workshop, it's probably at least partly because I have something to think about, so I'm probably not lacking in things to think about. But I'm also probably trying to not think about quite as many of those things. I'm looking at my tool here, and it looks like I might have a couple of nicks there. So I think my next video is probably going to be teaching myself how to sharpen these things. So let's see, I'm going to come in, try to ride the bevel. I'm getting some pieces cutting off now. Good. I do not have good tool control at this point. Alright, that's a start. I'll try doing this a slightly different way. I did like that method a little bit better. That was my best one. So maybe my mistake is basically just trying to take off too much at once. I think these are coming out a little prettier. I think my technique is getting at least a little bit better. Alright, let's take a look and see how we did. Okay, those are much smoother coves. Definitely have better control. For comparison, my previous work, a lot rougher, far less control. Looks like I'm doing at least a little bit better. I am going to reset my tool and reset my speed, and we will see if I can do a little bit better at a little bit higher speed and coming down to this other end. Now I do have to worry about this other end a little bit because I do have this real big fault right here. That's part of the hazards of using reclaimed wood. But I have reset my lathe and it's at 1400 RPM. I'm going to lay out some lines again, just kind of approximate. Going roughly ½ inch. Down here in this area is where that really bad section is, but I'm looking forward to that. That's going to challenge me even more. So let's see, much higher speed, let's see how I can do. What they always tell you to do, which is trying to let the tool do the work. It's always a good idea, not always so easy in practice. You know, I always start myself off with this underhand grip, but after a little while, it just doesn't feel like I really have the control I want to have. So it seems I'm comfortable with it in my head, but not as comfortable with it in practice. So I'm liking this higher speed. I think the higher speed is definitely comfortable for me. Still have some work to do on my tool control. But my gouge is doing the work for me. And clearly, as I just demonstrated there, it is very helpful to know where the end of the tool is. Try to keep it as clear as possible. I'm in that really chewed up bad section of the wood right here, but I seem to be getting a pretty nice cut. I'm about to make a mistake here, and I'm going to stop myself from making the mistake. I have my mark further out than I have my tool rest. I need to move my tool rest over instead of just trying to swing my tool out over space, because that would be dumb. I do love how that looks, as it just kind of slices through. Oops, I just bumped my camera, probably screwed up my shot completely. I'm liking how these are coming out. Let's see how they look. So I clearly have some better control, much smoother cuts, all things considered. This has been the Peaceful Wood Turner. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to our next video.